Hey guys, it's Olivia here from Olivia's Catastrophe, and I was tagged in the Booktube giving tag by a wandering mind, Serena from A Wandering Mind, and I'm just going to do this kind of Christmassy themed, even though it's supposed to be Thanksgiving themed, because I'm doing it so late. And yes, let's get right on down to the questions. I'll leave a link to the original one down below. So the first question is, what's a book you would give to everyone if you could? And I would give them Americana by Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie. Now this is actually not one that I loved like crazy. I thought it was just okay because of the storyline, wasn't my type of storyline, but she deals with such important themes and discussion, and it's just so important, and it's so well done in this book that I would just give it to everyone so that everyone can be as woke as she is and totally understand what she's talking about. It would just be a great book for opening up a lot of discussion, as it has done, and I would really recommend it to everyone. What's a book that you couldn't give a rat's hiney about? I have quite a few books, but the first one I'm going to say is Wuthering Heights by Emily Bronte. That's just a terrible book. I think I've talked about how terrible it is before on my channel, but it was just such a badly done romance novel. I just could not care about these characters. Yeah, couldn't care less about it. Then, given that the holidays are coming up, what's a book you hope someone buys for you? I'm not sure when I'll have this video up, but so far Christmas hasn't happened, and top of my wish list, because I'm on a book buying ban until June 2019, you know, I can't buy the books myself, so I really hope someone gets me this beautiful edition of Murder on the Orient Express by Agatha Christie that I found. I'm going to be reading some Agatha Christie in the future for uni, and I've read And Then There Were None and loved it, but I really want to read this one in particular, and this hardcover version is just frankly beautiful. What's a book or series that you've given up on? Again, I don't have my copy with me, but that is The Fifth Wave by Rick Yancey. I don't usually give up on books or series, but I really just I have no motivation to read further in the series. I enjoyed book 1, but book reviews for book 2 say they enjoyed it less, and apparently the third book is just awful, so I just don't feel a need to continue on with the series. And who is a character that you wish an author gave more time to? And for that one, I'm going to go with A Court of Mist and Fury by Sarah J Maas, and I'm going to say, generally speaking, Nesta and Elaine, because they're quite relevant in this book, but they don't get that much time. They barely say or do much, and I feel like what happens to them is going to be influential in that last book, but I just wish that they had a bit more time. And then the next question is, who's a character that you wish the author gave less time to? And I'm going to choose characters, and I'm going to say Riz and Favourite in this one, because although I do like how they work together and their relationship in this one, I just feel like we could have had less time with them, and yeah, I wouldn't have minded fewer scenes so that we could focus a bit more on what's supposedly going on, and also the friendship dynamic instead. Then the next question is, if you had to give up all of your books, which ones would you keep? Which is a hard question because I want to keep them all, but if all of them, if I had to only save one from a fire, I would choose Ariel by Sylvia Plath, and that's because it's my all-time favourite poetry collection, but this edition in particular is beautiful. And also, when I read this one earlier this year, I took the time to annotate and analyse every poem just by choice, because I love her poetry, and when I read poetry I enjoy breaking it down, looking into I enjoy analysing poetry basically. So every single one of these has my personal annotations and thoughts on them, and it's kind of irreplaceable. I mean, I could do it again, but you know, it's kind of irreplaceable now that it's done, it's personalised, and I don't have any other annotated books that I'd rather keep with me, because usually I only annotate when I study a book. So yeah, the rest I could buy back, but this one I couldn't. Then, what's the best book or bookish thing you've ever been given? And it's quite easy for me to say that. That is my Kindle Fire. Back when I got it, the Kindle Fire had just been released. It was a Christmas present from my parents. It had just been released, and I'd wanted a Kindle for a while. I'd actually wanted a Paperwhite, and I knew that the Kindle Fire, which is now a very outdated version, and the new ones are much better, but I'll never go up on my one until it breaks. And I remember specifically putting on my Christmas wish list, I would like a Kindle, but not the Kindle Fire, and I underlined it because, you know, my younger self was wise, I knew it was expensive, and didn't want my parents to spend that much money when I could get an older model, and yeah, just not spend that much money. And even though they didn't know why I said not to get me the latest one, I feel like they just knew that it was because I was worried about price, and then they got it for me anyway. And it just... such a nice gift. Such a nice gift. What's a book someone gave you that you wish you could give right back? Now, I wanted to be able to say none, but because I get a lot of review copies and I read a lot of books for videos that are just generally given to me specifically for the video, so I'm going to say Winter Song by S.J. Jones, and the person who gifted me this one is not the publisher and not the author, which is why I feel comfortable saying this. It was actually gifted to me by another author because she wanted me to talk about her book with other books in my explicit scenes videos, links to those up there and down below. But yes, I did not enjoy Winter Song. I thought it was just a very badly constructed book, and the themes were not handled well at all, and that was my main problem. The themes not being handled well and the plot just going nowhere, and the main character was annoying. So quite a few things I didn't like, and I would just give this book right back. But it's also beautiful. So, would I really? Lastly, name a time in a book that a character was given something really meaningful, and for that one I chose Wonder by R.J. Palacio because this one is about a boy who has a physical deformity with his face, and everybody stares at him and everything, but when he was gifted the astronaut helmet, it really helped him go out because he could hide behind it. But I also feel like even though you would think that's putting him like back and not helping him grow, in the end it contributed to his growth and acceptance of himself and the way other people treat him and what other people think of him as well. And because it became so important in his journey, I think it was a very meaningful gift. It was meaningful to him at the time because he needed it at the time, but it was also meaningful to help him grow beyond that. So I think that was a very good, meaningful thing that he was given. And yeah, that's all the questions for this tag. I'm going to tag some people down below, but I would like to know what is the best bookish or book you were gifted in your life, like the best bookish item or bookish related thing. Thank you so much for watching this video. Please give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, hit the subscribe button if you want to see more, and don't forget to hit that notification bell to be updated every time I have a new video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye!